What's going on, everyone? On today's video, I'm going to be showing you my top 5 beginner cichlids. Stay tuned. Alright, thank you for joining me for my top 5 cichlids for beginners. Before we begin, I would like to say that these fish are in no particular order, and some of this content isn't my own, so I will be displaying their channel names throughout the videos. As you can see on the screen, one of our picks was the Geophagus species. These are South American cichlids. They prefer water from 70 all the way up to 86 degrees. Usually the right range would be 77 to 80 degrees or so. They are bottom feeders and they are great cichlids. They could grow 10 to 12 inches. Some of the species do stay quite a bit smaller. But before we go more in depth about them, I wanted to talk about the scoring sheet that I made. So 4 key topics that are going to be important when you as a beginner go to purchase a cichlid. Number 1 is price. If this is going to be one of your first fish, you definitely don't want to be paying too much money while you're still learning. Number 2 is aggression. Aggression is not something you really want to have to deal with when you're just starting out. So the lower the amount of stars, the worse it is. The higher the number of stars, the better it's going to be for you. And at the end, we're going to add them all up and see which one gets the highest score. Another thing is care and maintenance. Some of these fish get pretty big and they are messy, so you're going to be having to do more frequent water changes. And the last thing to note is compatibility. So obviously a lot of the times you're not going to just want one fish in your tank, you're going to want various, and we got to see how likely it is that these fish will be able to cohabit with some others. I have kept all the fish on this list, and the Geophagus has really been one of my favorites. I had a Geophagus bransilensis, a surinamensis, and I forgot what the other one was a while ago on a Central American and South American community tank. And they really show a very nice display of color. As you can see here, they have some nice greens, blues, oranges, and reds. And as far as the scoring for the Geophagus, I give the pricing a 3 stars because most of these fish are going to be $10 to $20, some more, some a little less. For aggression, I give them 4 stars because they are able to cohabit with most other tank mates. Just don't remember they are cichlids, so don't get anything too small that they might go after. And when they breed, they do get a little more aggressive. That's why I gave them 4 stars and not 5. For care and maintenance, they actually make the maintenance easier for you because they are earth feeders, and they're always going to be moving around your sand and your gravel, so that cuts down on the amount of gravel vacuuming that you have to do. I gave that 5 stars. And for compatibility, I gave it 4 stars. Just because you really don't want to get any shrimp in there or any small fish that they could easily feed on, such as guppies. I think some type of barbs, and there's some other community fish you could put in there, but definitely not something that doesn't move very fast. On to the next one. Up next on our list is none other than the blood parrots. This is one of the first fish I had. They grow to around 6 or 7 inches. They get pretty round. They have a small deformity in their mouths, which makes them not be able to close it completely. So they are cichlids and they are aggressive. You're gonna get awesome personality with them. Minimum size for a full-grown blood parrot is a 29-gallon tank. I gave the blood parrots 4 stars for price because you could usually find them under $10 when they're small and they grow very fast. 4 stars for aggression because they will show a little aggression, but due to their deformed mouths, there's not really much they can do about it. They can't nib fins or anything like that. I gave it 5 stars for care because they are very hardy fish, and all you pretty much have to do is feed them and they'll grow. And I gave them a 4 stars for compatibility because there are videos out there, believe it or not, of like blood parrots eating loaches and this and that. If the fish is small enough to go into its tiny mouth, then yes, it could be eaten. So blood parrots, awesome fish, lots of personality, highly recommend them. Where can I start with these guys? It's usually one of the first fish we keep when we were smaller. I know I tried to keep one in a 46 gallon when I started out, and eventually it just got so big that it would just splash everywhere, and I had a mess of water in my room. But yeah, the Oscar. I really highly recommend this fish as long as you do your research on it and you do know how big they're going to get. These guys can easily get 8 to 10 inches in a year, and they usually top off around 12 inches in an aquarium. If you have a bigger aquarium, say 300 gallons or more, they could get even bigger than that, up to 14 inches. Oscars are all over our canal systems in South Florida just because people have released the pets back into the wild. Here you're seeing a beautiful Oscar by Mbuna Marcus. So as far as the rating goes, oh, something else I wanted to say about the Oscars is that they come in different color morphs. This one that you can see here is very red with a white stripe on its head. This is a regular tiger Oscar. They have albino Oscars too. Oscar, I gave it a 5 star for price because you could usually find the small one for probably around $10 or so, or even cheaper. And I really recommend getting them small. They do grow very fast, so you get to train them. 3 stars for aggression because they are fairly aggressive and they will pick on anything smaller than them. Their care, I give them 3 stars as well, just because um, they are big, messy fish, and you are going to have to do more frequent water changes. And compatibility, I gave it a 3 star as well because you really have to choose compatible fish for these guys. Usually other type of Central and South American cichlids are fine as long as they could stay up to their size. And yeah, Oscars. The next fish on our list is probably the first fish all of us bred, and this is what I would recommend if anybody's thinking about getting into breeding. Convict cichlids, guys. Convict cichlids. Males usually just get black and white. Here you're seeing a female. You can see she has a nice orange, red in the belly area, and she's got other beautiful colors. These guys do all the work in the breeding. They lay the eggs. The female and the male will fan them, and then you'll see all the fry just come out into the tank. They live in a community, so usually they don't eat the babies, and you could just raise the babies there with the parents. So for the scoring on the Convict Cichlids, I gave them a 5 stars for price because you could usually find them between $3 and $4 each. 3 stars for aggression. They're usually pretty mild, but when they're coupled up and they're breeding, they could be a little more aggressive. 5 stars for care. Just drop food in there. Do your weekly or bi-weekly water changes. Keep your tank kind of clean, and they'll take care of themselves. 4 stars for compatibility, because if you have just like one male or one female, you could technically almost keep them with anything else. Now, if you have a pair of them, that's when you have to watch out because they will breed. And last but not least, we have the African cichlids. I mean, what's not to love about these guys? More specifically, the Alanakaras, the African peacocks. This, I would say, is it is a beginner fish, but not completely beginner. It's more beginner to intermediate. They have beautiful colors. You know, this is what my channel is all about. This is my 120-gallon display tank that you're watching here. And the African cichlids, I give them a 1 star for price because most fish with color around 3 to 4 inches are usually $30 and up. 2 to 4 stars for aggression, depends how much fish you have in the tank. If you keep it kind of overstocked, how I have mines with like 30 peacocks in there, you'll do just fine. Just you definitely want to have a decent amount of numbers so no one fish gets picked on too much. 4 stars for care. They're pretty, they're pretty easy to take care for. The only thing is if your water doesn't come out of your tap with a high pH, you might have to, add some crushed coral or something in your water, some buffer. And 3 stars for compatibility, because you definitely don't want to do African cichlids and Central Americans, South Americans. At least in my opinion, I have done that in the past and it ended up not working out very well. So 3 stars for compatibility because you're kind of limited to other species in Africa. So if we add up all the points, the fish that takes it home is the blood parrot. I mean, blood parrots are great fish, easy to take care of. They're very hardy. They have great personalities. So if you have like a 55-gallon tank, you can keep 2 or 3 of them in there, get some other fish in there with it. But anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of my top 5 cichlids for beginners. And please leave the video a thumbs up. It has taken me quite a bit of work to put this all together, but I do hope you enjoyed. Hit that like button, subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. See you guys on the next one.